Game.
All right, sir. So I'll present first like the detail of the thing I talked about last week. So I guess I'll go to my base section first. Then I'll go to the details. So this is just my like a simple base section for the process. I think I showed this last week na, but I made it more detailed, and it shows the atrium or like where the flower tea is and how it kind of works there. And then yeah, like the copper pipes over here, and there's program key here. Then the copper pipes go down here to the like a plate over here, then which heats up the water. And then like, and I have details over here for like the gaps I was talking about where water, I mean steam could seep through, which can moisten the soil. And because since it's quite hot over in Pampanga, it would basically like dry up the compost pit, and the steam would actually just help. It would help the compost pit be more moist, I guess. But then if we go back here, this is like a detailed view of the soil plot setup. So before we go to the metal frame, uh, on top of that we have like water fabric filter. Then on top of that, it would be the soil bed. Then in the inside the soil bed would be like the copper pipes. Yeah, and then in here would be a more a bracket, like a few brackets, so I could support the the slabs or maybe acrylic glass. So this one would be the J bracket, and then this one would be like the right angle corner brace, so that it would create a 1 centimeter gap uh, from this one. Yeah. So that's it for the party. And then yeah, and then for the floor plans, this is a floor plan. I'm not for the construction. I mean the structural. I'm not quite sure yet because not I'm not sure if I should add columns or like shear wall. But since this is underground, uh oh wait, actually this one is underground. But just negative minus 3.25 meters below NGL. So this part would be kind of like the case for the building. So this part will be, what do you call this? Just a concrete wall down below. So it doesn't really need ventilation because the ventilation comes at the top of the roof. And then yeah, and how do I present this? So this one is like
The module of per
you start.
square.
Hmm?
What's the size of the module?
Oh, the per square, it's 3 by 3 meters.
Okay.
Okay, and then like the walls are point 50 meters, 150 millimeters. And then here's the entrance, and then here it's more like a lobby space, or like it could still be used as a space for interaction. Like people could actually sit over here, and then like in here would be the shower. I put everything in here, but I'll just explain it here. So
What's
number
the
two
blue?
is the shower. Hmm?
What's blue? What's the blue shaded
Oh,
area?
the blue is the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the end, it's kind of like a seamless flow of water throughout the building in here in this part. Yeah. And then this one would be like the shower room. This one would be the janitor's closet just for the utilities, and then this one would be the changing rooms. Uh, Here's the bench, and here's the locker room. Then here would be the atrium or the flower tea room where it has like the big uh bowl, not bowl, more like it's a square. Where the tea is, and then this would be different. The deepness would be different in here. So this would be zero point 0.8 meters. This would be 1.2. This would or 4 feet basically. This one's zero point 0.8. Number 9 is zero point 0.8, and this one would be zero point 0.9. And then I enclosed this part since it's more of a private space, and it's also the support or like the load bearing walls for the roof. And this would be the mechanical room. Yeah. And then here's the exit at the top. Yeah. Then this one would be the, let's say, the natural ground floor, but I kind of lifted it 0.25 meters. So it has a bit of contrast in the ground. And then this would be the entrance here. Then here would be the exit. And then this one are the bathrooms or the changing rooms could be still. And then this one is the storage room for the compost, for the finished compost. And then the number ones over here are the plant plots, where you could see if we go to the base section. Oh, oops! It will be like this. Like this is just half of it, and yeah, it has like a yeah. There, I think that's basically it for the floor plans. And then number four, the atrium, the skylight, or where the wind would mostly enter.
Okay.
And then oh, and then you could see here as well the gaps. Oops, sorry, I forgot to mention the gaps for uh steam to go up. But the thing is, I'm not quite sure of keeping like this Peter Zooms or thermal valves thing going on because I kind of wanted a different thing, but I'm still figuring out the structural for that. But if I can't figure it out, maybe I'll just stick with this. And then here's the isometric exploded. Here's the site, and then here's the wall I've been talking about. It's more of just a case, and then here's kind of the grid to divide them all. It's a 0.25 meters. And then this one would be the different uh, deepness of the
What?
pools, and now we're in here. Here are just the massing and the openings, and then in here you'd see the furniture. So here are the benches, and then of like the hot s- spring, or like not the hot spring, like jacuzzi, whatever. And then here will be the changing rooms, as you could see. And here are just kind of like shelves for the utilities, and there's still space for, I guess, bigger stuff like mops or whatever. And here are the shower, and then this part would be like the flower tea, and and then this would be the mechanical room, like the pump and like the filter, and then here would be the top floor, the roof, and then on this one you'd see the bathroom. So yeah, that's it. Oh, this one's the site development plan. Yeah, this is my last one. I should have presented this earlier.
Okay.
So I have like 5 meters here, then 2 meters in here, and this one's a fence. So I figured I could just stick it there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Is that it, Yao?
yeah, yeah.
All right. So you can stop sharing now. So I remembered my style of Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is this made of again? This is the detail that you had earlier, no? And
Mm-hmm.
people would
Yeah.
be stepping on it. And this is made of soil.
Which part, sir?
This is soil, no?
Oh,
Compost.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, this might not do because people will be stepping
Okay.
on it, and soil is heavy, and the tree is heavy also.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will need the concrete structure on the roof.
All right.
Okay, so and then I guess this is fine for now. Uh, did you compute how many trees you need so that you can determine how many plots you need to have?
Um, per plot, it would be seven bananas,
Upper plots, ang
and
dami pala nito.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it could be reduced.
No, I mean the more
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah.
So this is what level again? Because you have two sets of stairs, the one going down, one going up, right?
Yeah. No, no, no. They just go down.
Okay.
Both of them. Then they both. Yeah. It's
Okay.
an entrance and exit. Yeah.
Okay. So this is on ground level. What
Yep.
I'm looking at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what? So this is the fence, the dark one.
Uh,
Tama ba?
yes. But I
Okay.
think I should have made it white na lang because
Yeah, yeah.
it's not really, yeah.
It should be. And then since you have normally you include the sidewalk already so that may bearing kung saan ka mag-start. And and then if you go down, like how do you go to the space? It's a walled up.
Oh, I didn't add anything in there, sir. Like, oh, actually, since let's say it's not really a wall, the that black thing. So basically, it's the same level with the floor. So I should
Oh,
have changed
okay, so you know that now.
the black part there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
My bad.
okay. Dishwashing area. Like if you have tea air, you have a tea place. So where do you wash the cups? How do you drink it?
Oh, basically, what actually I didn't think of that part yet. But because I
Yeah,
was just thinking the storage and the thing would be in number four over there, of for the cups and all, and they could like probably drink it while swimming. But I should put so,
yeah, yeah. It's to be sanitized, no?
yeah.
So yeah, I think what I get what you're trying to do here. It's like a spiritual thing,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, you're combining the idea of the harvest and then getting something out of it and creating that
Mm-hmm.
culture, which I think is something new. And yeah, it is a Zamtor-ish type of development. When it comes to the structural, I think you need to look at it carefully. This is almost 9 meters in width. Okay, so yung width niya, I think can be, I think it's doable. If the Can you see the mouse pointer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If these are structural also,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
this is doable. You don't need to put any columns anymore.
Okay.
Um,
How about for the in the outside part, sir? Could it
no,
should
no,
I put like columns? No. Okay.
no. It's a
Like sheer wall.
said it's open na, di ba? If it's going to be open,
Okay.
you're not supporting anything above you.
All right. Okay.
So, um, what is this black area? Nothing.
That's nothing, sir. But I think I should do something with it. Like
Now,
connected to number one.
or you think about it, and then if it's
Yeah.
going to be just soil, then provide the symbol of the soil. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
I would suggest that you thicken the wall to 200 mm, not 150.
For everything, sir.
No, for the outside lang. For the outside.
Oh, it's the outside is 200, sir. Yeah,
Are you sure? Oh yeah,
I
okay,
think
mukha
so.
naman.
Yeah, there's a.
Okay. The isometric looks good. It's just that I don't see the I mean for a project it's well developed compared to the others. However, it's lacking two qualities. The spiritual quality, I'm just reading what you want to do. That's why I said that. And then you mentioned Peter Zumthor. And then and the plant quality. So you might need to introduce texture so that your project will have more character. Okay, I don't know if this will be negated if you introduce the concrete flooring. And before I forget,
Mhm.
I don't think you want a low ceiling at the basement. Right now, you're working with three.
Right, sir.
Uh, what's the height again? Ceiling. What is the ceiling height?
For, would be three 3 meters.
It's high enough, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's good enough.
Okay.
It will be lessened if you have a beam already. You need to
Mm-hmm.
allot at least 600, 600 clearance. So if you have the structural, this will be reduced to 2.6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of low for a basement. It's okay, but it's low. Okay, but with the kind of experience that you want, I think you want it higher. You don't want it to be like a um sketchy or dungeon-like space.
Yeah.
Somehow there has to be an element of surprise. With the kind of proposal that you have, I don't think if I go down, I'll feel like I'm just in a basement of a house. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be an element, so it has to be somehow grand, even though you're limited with the width of a 9 meter. But somehow there has to be that certain quality of grandeur when you go down because it's unexpected, as compared to just having a basement of a house transform into a spa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that way you can have the quality of surprise and shock. So I think you might need to increase the height. So it's up to you how high it's going to be. But right now, if you're going to stick with this, not only you'll only have 2.6, the experience would be not that special. It just so happens that you have water, etc. But I think if you have a higher ceiling, and then I can imagine slithers of slithers of light penetrating, and that's one thing that I am going to look for. Like, how's the natural light here? How's the lighting?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be all artificial, or are you going to have some rays of light going through somewhere?
Yep.
How is it?
Oh, I'll make a bit of both, sir.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we still lack those parts of those details,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and so as an additional critique, when I'm looking at this, maybe just maybe this is elevated a little bit. That
Mm-hmm.
way you can
Yeah.
introduce some windows. I don't know. Uh, yeah, right. I'm just thinking out loud, and probably you can play with the height of the plots so that it's not
Okay.
flat. And then when you experiment on the height of the plots, you create those plant boxes, and then those plant boxes, if you're able to meet the minimum uh, soil depth, then probably you can have clerestory windows underneath, and that will be the source of light for the basement space.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting at the ground level also, and it sort of create a park somehow. Um, yeah, I think you need we need you just need like a play of height of the plant boxes so that it can be an interesting open space that can be enjoyed by the community.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you are aiming for. So just a suggestion. Okay. So
Okay.
I for next week I want you to build a model of this so that they can have a better understanding of the space. And if you have extra time, you can do a section model,
All right, sir.
a section model that
Is there a scale, sir, that you want?
not want, but it's not about want. It's about what is proper for this
Okay.
kind of study.
Mm-hmm.
50 should be good
Okay.
for this size. Kasi you can really see the profile, you're talking about details. You have a very simple project. Wherein the complexity will rely on the small details, like the
Mm-hmm.
canals, uh, and the conduit, and probably the height of the compost plant boxes. Like how do you want this to be perceived at the sidewalk level, and how do you want it
Okay.
perceived when you are below? That's why the cross section might be a good model as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see those qualities like the overall massing, and then the section, probably a base section model showing the details of how you want it to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have
Okay.
questions, Jao?
None so far, sir.
Okay, so good. Thank you, Jao.
Thank you.
Kim. Okay, you can share now.
Kita na, sir.
Yes, yes.
So, what I actually did for this week wasn't only the requirements that you asked, but I also focused like yung last week kasi you told me to focus more on the individual program. So I remember asking you regarding the laboratory. Thus
Yes.
I find nahirapan na ako mag-isip ng program. So I went with the library na lang. Since I thought of an idea na rin. So this is just one program. So I used my fourth floor since my noise can elevates as my noise gets quieter and more peaceful as it goes up. So I use yung fourth floor ko, which is my top floor. So what I did was I created like these railings and there are like holes in the middle. And oh wait, let me zoom in a bit so mas kita. So what I did is I still integrated yung hammock concept ko, yung from the first few weeks. But what I did is that hammock is integrated with its own library in a sense. So people can like go inside this hammock, and since there are books here lined, uh, like between the ceiling and the ceiling of the third floor and the floor of the fourth floor. So dun naka-apply yung mga books. So it in a sense it has its own library space because like this fourth floor I imagine it as a semi-public space, so it's like a bridge, like a walkway, but I created like another semi-private layer through the hammock. And then what I thought of was I also applied my pa- there's like this pole in the middle that applies. It's like an umbrella pole, because what I imagined was like this umbrella is not only used for the type yung shading and rain, but it's also a settlement for my plants. And the pole in the middle, it becomes not only parang not only a structural element for the umbrella, but it's also like the yung sliding pole, like what you said for the first few weeks. If there was ever an emergency, like and you were let's say trapped in this library, people can slide down the pole from the fourth floor to the third floor. So it makes that so if there's an emergency, it's easier for the people to let's say escape. Uh, So here is an example. Like what I planned is since below the library is actually my interior garden and bird habitat, and it needs that necessity for sunlight and rain as well. But since there's a floor above it, I created a penetration through the rooftop, so that way the sun and rain can still enter the third floor. But like let's say if there was someone occupying the library pod, the umbrella would be like a mechanical feature that protects them, not only the people inside but the books as well from that rain and sunlight. So since my plant grows around 40 centimeters, so that's 0.4 meters, the diameter of this hole, as I imagine, is 3 meters. So I estimated like if it extends, it's around let's say 2 meters. So this hypotenuse, yeah, it's around 2 meters. So since my plant extends to zero point 0.4 meters, I created 5 segments. So this is where the plants will be settled, like my vine plant. And in a way, if it's the umbrella's closed, it's this is how it looks. But if it opens, there's like this pipe that's connected to the like the center pole, and every time you try to mechanically push it up so the umbrella expands. Tawag yan, these pipes that are connected to the main pole also expand. So as you can see in the photo there, so that's how I imagined it. So it's like the plant adapts to the movement of the mechanical umbrella.
Hindi na siya waterproof.
Ano po, sir?
Hindi na siya waterproof.
Which one, sir?
Butas ka na eh. You have holes already.
Yeah, pero if you let's say if there was no people, the books are still protected in a way because there's like this gap in the middle, so where the books are inserted, so they don't get wet. But if ever, yeah, it's only meant to be waterproof if there was people inside. But if there's none, the water still passes. It passes through this floor because like my garden's gonna be down there, so the water can still pass through that floor.
How is it waterproof if you have holes?
No, it's the purpose of the roof is to be, yeah, it's waterproof in a sense, but the rain only goes through this hole, which goes through the fourth floor and then goes
My
through the
problem,
third floor, sir.
your umbrella has holes.
Oh, okay, gets okay, gets. Because like the purpose, it's not meant to be. Because like when it expands, the holes are like locked in to the pipe. I was unable to show how. I'm gonna read this, pero they're supposed to be locked in, and at the same time, there are since the plant grows, it also covers some portion of the hole. So I guess it's not 100% waterproof. Maybe around 90%. I didn't take that through passer. Pero
Leak yan.
might adjust it next week.
Yeah, there will be leaks. Although I appreciate your exploration, but mahirap yan. There will be leaks and I can guarantee you.
Okay, yeah, passer. So what I imagine at first, if like this was the upper floor, goes down here. So in a way, there's this semi-public walkway, and at the same time, there's that semi-private pods in the below that floor. So basically, that's how I imagine my party for the library pa lang. Pero this is not how the floor plan will look like it because I did this ahead before doing
Okay,
the plans and the sections.
alright.
So let me just go here. So this is my wait lang, site development plan. So basically, this is my the site. So there is a setback required like for all sides for 2 meters if it's commercial, and if your road right of way was less than 10 meters, the setbacks required are 2 meters for all sides except the facade, which is 5 meter. So what I did was, since this is my site, it's like a rectangle with an extension here. I didn't push this back anymore, like sinagad, di ko na sinagad, because like the space would be parang wala na masyadong kwenta yung space because like this would be 5 meters na. And instead of like pushing the building further there, I created this like a motorcycle parking because like it was small enough to accompany the mga motorcycles because like in our area there are, since it's very crowded, you can still see like a lot of motorcycles passing. And sa my front part, like the building adjacent to my site, there are a lot of parang illegally motorcycle parked. So they just park there, but di sila sinisita.
Okay.
But it becomes a nuisance sometimes because it blocks the other buildings, mga entrances. So that's why I created the parking here. And this one's actually a one-way. Well, this is two-way. This is why I created my entrance here instead, because in this two-way street, it's kind of a bit crowded na. Because not only are there may mga naka-double park dyan, pero there are some illegal settlers also there. So in a way, if the car was to enter through here and then my exit pa, it's gonna get so crowded in this area. So I just made it through here lang, so it's more one-way for the motorcycles. While for the car parking, they don't have to go through this driveway. They just basically park their cars outside here. So it's not gonna be too congested inside. And then I have my walkway here, and then here's my building footprint. So for the first floor, it's basically just this. So there's gonna be this area is basically the cantilever na. Cantilever the for second to fourth floor na yan. And this one is gonna be my ramps na.
So this is not a, that is the, what is the site development plan?
Yeah, sir. It's like how I imagine myself with the parkings na and the hallways and stuff. So I didn't go with my form last week because I wasn't in this week kasi I wasn't able to define every program just for the library. So for other programs that I haven't researched with yet, I started with a box. So for my plan, basically, yung kanina, this is the driveway. So you go in, you have the concierge, you have the stairs going up, and this is the ramp basically outside. So there's like, if you were in the parking lot area down here, you can still access this, but you have to go through the back. But if you're in the inside, you can still go through this doorway to go in to the ramp. And then you have your utility area and your office, which is beside the concierge area. And then you have your toilet and bath here, stairs, and your furniture basically. And then once you go up, this is where my brown noise program is more integrated into. But I haven't defined the program yet with my plant research and denoise. So this is all hypothetical pa lang. So as you go up the stairs, you still have your bathroom, which is consistent from the first floor to the fourth floor. And then here you have my steam room na, and this one will be the changing room. So this is where you put your shoes and your clothes. And then these are like the individual spa rooms, and I have my meditation room here. And this is the waiting lobby. So as same as the first floor, there's an exit here at the far right corner, which also leads to the ramp going to the third floor. Which at this ramp is where my white noise will be positioned. And then here comes my third floor. So as you go out, same bathroom, and then here I have my like study hall and lounge. And then here, this is basically how my bird habitat is. So this is basically just like a fence. So it's very open here, and this is the balcony. So these three are balconies. I didn't really know how to put like vines in a plan orientation. So I just like put small trees to explain how the vines will look like. But since my vine that's just all one plant, I still haven't explained the like research the whole program and like defined it. So I might be adding more plants here once I define the area more. So basically, this area in the third floor is a penetrated space. This is how the birds, the wind, the sun will go in. Since the sun orientation is from here going to here, as well the wind it's going here then. So sakto tumatama sa area na to. So this is why I cut that off. And then for the fourth floor, this is where I defined most of my. This is yeah, basically the only program I defined for the suite. So since I created that library space, I wanted the walkways, like when it comes to the edges, to be more like consistent in terms of form. So this is why I made it a curved structure. So at the same time, it's not only a balcony that overlooks the view outside, but it also overlooks the third floor. Because like wait, let me. It's like the third floor is basically a square. So there's like this extra space that the balcony looks over to. So yeah, that's basically ano ba? This is basically my initial form based on my current yung current program, yung library pa lang nagagawa ko. So
What's
exploded.
the ramp for? Is it for cosmetic purposes or there's a reason
No,
behind?
it's this because like the ramp sir is for I made the ramp like an exterior ramp since my white noise yung the one I presented last week. It's like it's hanging outside the facade. So I integrated that with like an outside hallway which where the double facade comes in. But I didn't want it to be like a hallway lang because it might be not too efficient in terms of circulation.
Program
Ano
what?
sir?
In terms of program, what is it?
Which one? The ramp?
Yeah,
It's basically for the white noise, sir. So
pro
it acts like as
like program.
it's like an interactive hallway ko, sir. Because like that's where the kinetic facade will come in.
Circulation wise, where does it lead? Why didn't? That's why I said it might be just for cosmetic purposes. Although I know that you are placing it for the purpose of mounting your installation, it's still cosmetic because programmatically it has no purpose.
Oh no, sir. I explained that last 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 weeks ago. It's like how the
Explain it, but
how that
the design now is not showing it. Like how is it?
uh
Like no, the ramp goes nowhere.
oh no, this is the oh wait, where's my plan? Sir, this is the ramp. It's basically there's like doorway here,
Yeah.
and the double facade acts like a it protects not
Forget
only
that
from
part.
the
Where does
industrial.
it go? What is the purpose of the ramp?
The ramp parang na-integrate ko yung double facade ko into a
I get that.
walkway.
I get that already. That's what I'm telling you. Aside from mounting the vanity that we're doing, anong purpose ng ramp? Is it just for mounting? What
No,
programmatic?
sir.
I'm asking for
So, hindi ko
programmatic.
gets yung question, sir. Sorry.
What is the purpose of a ramp? It's for
Is
circulation.
for circulation and at the same time PWD din. Like if ever there were like
So, yun tinatanong ko programmatically. Where does it go?
okay. So since the ramp is like from one floor to another,
Yeah.
so the exit or entrance is basically from the back of one floor. It goes out here. So that's why there's like an opening here.
And why does it stop at the second floor?
Cause like my noise kasi is like from pink noise. The pink noise might be if there was a like a white noise.
Then your argument
Dyan.
about the PWD access is negated.
Wait, nalalos na ako. Wait lang.
You said the function of the ramp is for PWD.
Yeah, generally like that. The ramps are for people who are disabled to move
And
around.
then your proposal for the ramp is just mostly for vanity, for mounting your installation. You cannot claim that it has a functional purpose, which is for PWD, because it only up the second floor. And your reason for second floor is because just for white noise.
Oh, so if that's my case, it should if it's like if I'm doing it for PWD, it should extend to all floors. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yeah, because I find it a little self-indulgent that you're just constructing a ramp so that you can mount a noise.
Okay, okay. I'm catching up na. Gets.
Do you get it? And then I challenge you, what else is the purpose of that ramp? I said PWD, but it only stopped at the second floor because your priority is the brown noise. So
And
nanegate,
it stops at the third floor,
nanegate,
sir.
nanegate na yung PWD.
Ah.
Do you get it?
Pero the ramp goes on to the third floor. Pero gets, dapat umabot din siya sa fourth in a sense.
Is it the 1 to 12 ratio?
Uh, tawag yan.
The top,
I didn't consider it yet. But yung, wait, let me see the distance.
okay.
So yung distance now, 13 meters. The distance of the southern ramp is 14 meters in length, sir.
1 meter lang yan, ang height niyan.
Okay, sige. Adjust ko na lang po, sir, next week.
Sige, sige.
Sorry.
Yan talaga. And then another thing, while the floor plans were drawn beautifully, and you said it naman that the lower floors are not developed yet. I want to see the symbiotic relationship between the topmost floor, which is really interesting, and then it becomes boring at the lower floors. You get
Yeah,
it?
yun nga.
But your solution to have a ramp with decorated stuff for brown noise is not enough just for because you want to provide a place for mounting those things. And that's what I'm saying. You need to marry all this together. The spectacle and the program.
Okay, sir. Sige. Pero
Okay.
I get the problem.
Okay, so, okay, like right now I'm looking at ordinary floor plan. I don't see the special quality to it, except for the uppermost floors wherein you have those circular stuff. Um, in fact, I'm going to ask you to create a base section because I want to see how you applied your building technology. Like,
This is my base section, sir.
no, that's not good enough. I want to zoom in, showing the shelf, showing the slab, showing the beam,
Okay.
and showing the connected the net. Do you get it? And then,
Okay, yeah.
okay, although I like the net and the bookshelf idea, the question is it enough? And what kind of library is this? Again, you need to balance functionality and the numbers all together. You might not have enough shelves, baka these are central shelves, but you still have the normal shelves. I don't know. Maybe you can design it in a way that it still reflects the design language. But I don't think the shelves are enough. Otherwise, if you are saying that these are only the shelves that I will have, then basically you're just doing it for vanity, for the exploration of forms lang. So we're trying to create something functional and at the same time something very interesting. And then I'm not convinced with the umbrella yet because again it will get wet. Even though you say that certain areas will be dry, the idea of being in a space when you can get wet is a little discomforting, and
Sure.
there's also moisture that will destroy the books. So
Okay.
you need to rethink about the area for reading outside and the area reading for the outside at the inside. Maybe you have that condition. I think you're trying to simulate a situation wherein you're reading on a hammock under a tree, etc. Maybe you can still do that, but rethink it in a very pragmatic way because that is already creative. Then now you need to transport it into something realistic, construction wise and functional. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sige, I would have, if you develop a party down below, it's developed, I would have asked you to create a model, but not yet. But it's getting
Sige
there.
po, sir. Yeah. Kulang ko na lang yung mga party din sa baba eh. That's what I'm planning to do then for
Okay, and you need to answer those
next week.
questions like the RAM, and then the detail, the base section, etc. All right.
Okay, sir.
And then also the
Okay.
plant. You are also losing the quality of the plant.
Okay,
Idea.
sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that okay, I love the effort that you have when you I can you see it na?
Yeah.
Okay, effort that you have when you are attempting to create a base section with details, which is very commendable. And I mean, for this level, I think this is good. Maybe I'm just going to critique the um, what you have. I mean, the design, and so you'll just have the ceiling will be you will have exposed pipes. Is that correct?
Oh no, in the center it'll run through the middle, which is covered by plywood or something, and then it will run to the
So
yeah
you will
to
have
the end of the
basically
wall.
so you basically it will be a flat ceiling.
No, it's not going to be actually. It's gonna look like this. There's a diagonal.
So you can see the profile of the outside.
Yeah. I made sure.
Okay,
But in
so
the section, I didn't show that specific
it,
detail that
it
it's
is
gonna
so
be slanted.
and then your
Right.
program is a library, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, and then the ground level is open to the public, right?
Yeah. And then there's a washing room or like a kitchen where people where there's like designated people to make tea for the entire structure and stuff,
Okay.
which
Uh,
is in the ground floor.
okay. I'll go back to your B section because this particular interesting that I think can be developed further. Um, okay, this is fine. But this is the same idea as the putting the plants on a glass box,
Which glass
like
box?
the
I'm
tiles.
confused.
You were talking about the tiles, then like what?
Oh, no, that's different. That's different.
Okay,
This is the one where it's actually a vine, but then the machuca tiles that's on the ground floor exposed to the sun
okay,
and stuff.
but okay,
And that's for the drying process.
so that's different, pa, no?
Yeah.
Okay, just avoid this is a minor complaint, a comment. Like the moment you open the door, it doesn't mean it's gonna wipe out the tiles or the grass. Right now, it's here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, it erased the floor type. Okay, so right now we don't have any labels. It's very hard to understand. But the drawing it looks good. But the program, ito, meron. Patio. Okay. 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 For the site development plan, you need to be able to show the connection of your building to the sidewalk. And if you're gonna have parking, because right now it's kind of disconnected, like you just have grass lawn on the lawn, and then so when it rains, it'll be muddy. So you need to answer how you are connecting to the road and to the sidewalk. Design
Yes,
why um, I find the roof plan very interesting. Very interesting. Although my always I always comment about designs with very interesting roofing, and there's nothing wrong about it. It's just that you need to be Superman to appreciate it. So you need to fly to appreciate it. But I understand the situation here because it's for the birds, not for humans, but if there's a way that that expression is also enjoyed by the normal person, it would be good. Uh, because while it's good for the birds, I don't think they have the faculty um, to appreciate nice forms or nice architecture as compared to humans. Uh, and I think you need to express that exuberance of form down below as well. If you can echo that idea below, it would be good. And you mentioned that the profile of the roofing will be reflected on the ceiling, and that gave me a little relief. So, and you also need to review if this is really the stair details that you want. Um, it looks very domestic, so I'm not sure if it's something that good for that the building type that you're thinking of. Because right now it looks as if it's made of wood, and yeah, it looks very domestic. I mean, I have no problem with that. Maybe I need to see the overall composition to see what you're trying to do. And this is what I was saying. Very interesting roofscape, but only Superman can appreciate it. And then when you're here, I'm sure when you render it, it will have, it will have plants, etc. It will be interesting. But architecturally, on the facade or the elevation part, it's a little conventional. Although it's not really about conventional or anything, but you already made something very interesting at the topmost part. What's stopping you from creating the same thing on the outside? Because, like I said, if we're going to analyze it, it's the people who appreciate architecture, not the birds. But uh, but I'm not complaining about the roofscape. Don't get me wrong. It's very interesting. It's very nice. But all I'm saying is that the outside elevation could have been more interesting. Do you follow, Bea?
Yeah, thank you.
But don't change the roofscape. It's beautiful as it is.
Okay,
Just think of
thank you.
uh, just think of what you can do on the sides to create an interesting elevation. Um, my suggestion for this is um, while you create a very interesting ceiling, maybe you can show that later on when you have interior perspectives. Um, and since the ground level is, let me just look at this, it's open to the sides, diba? So technically, if this gets wet, it's okay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So if this is the pool, and then there's a way for you to sort of create that connection to the ground. Like maybe you can create a hole so that I think I mentioned this last time. Like you can have droppings of the water, like it drops on.
yeah, you mentioned before.
It will be nice. It's sort of water than the plants that you have at the ground level. Maybe you can create channels like what Jao did. Somewhat it's like an irrigation. It's a pattern on the floor, like a normal pattern that you see on floors, but functionally it acts like a mini irrigation to water the plants. And I don't know if that's possible. Um, but it will be nice. I don't know what you can do if this is the. Can you see the mouse pointer?
Yes, sir.
But like if there's a way that I don't know if it's a glass wall so that you can see the drops. It will be nice to see that. A nice feature. And then I don't know if it's going to be open. I don't suggest it should be open. Because of the moisture it can create, it can damage the books. Um, but some sort of a connection between this space and this space. It doesn't have to be happening on the entire stretch of the pool, the bird pool, because this one is long, right? It can be on segmented area, so that way you can have very interesting light towers inside that has drippings of water. Do you picture what I'm imagining?
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Let me annotate it. So if this is your water pool, let me just choose a better color. If this is your water pool, and then you mentioned that there'll be drippings of water, right? So you have pipings to drain this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so but what if, just what if you have some sort of a glass enclosure, like uh, like a column strategically placed, not the entire stretch of the bird pool, kasi di ba your bird pools are long, maybe just some areas, and then that way, uh, you can have some connection between this space. So you have a connection between this space and this space. Do you get it? And then that way, if you can have droppings, the droppings happen like that of droppings of the water. And then when you create a pool somewhere here, and then you create some sort of a channel, if you have a plant here, you know, somehow it gets moist. Do you get it?
Yes, sir. I get it.
So
Okay.
you as a designer, you can design in such a way that it's beautiful and very architectural, but it does that. Do you get it? So people, when they look at it, it's a beautiful ceiling design, and then the moment they realize it's actually doing something, they get it, and then they also see the patterns on the floor, but they realize it later on. It's actually an informal irrigation. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my.
I'll try that for next week.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Sige. I wanted to try that first. I would have asked you to create a model first because I was excited with the roofscape, but I think the elevation can be improved. Maybe next week is the model. But for now, try these ideas first and then develop the exterior. All right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, because right now it looks very functional. Just think of the experience in general. So okay. Although I think the redeeming part of your presentation is when I saw this, no? So it somewhat creates an impression that this uh, that you have some interacting elements or interacting spaces in your design. But I want you to explore a design or a typology wherein you're not just limited to a facade, an interesting facade. Like how do you bring in the facade inside, or how is this system interacting with the interior, etc. That would be a more complex undertaking as compared to you having a very interesting facade skin, uh, but you're just dealing with the skin, and then what's happening in the inside is left out. Do you get it? So um, I want you to practice, also designing what is inside the interiority of the building. Although there's some conditions here that is an indication that you are conscious of it somehow. Maybe you were just pressured by the requirement, but this is a good start. You can massage this later on, so that you can have a more interesting um, architecture that goes inside and out.
Okay, sir.
Okay, actually, yun lang naman yung comment ko, pero kasi I think you are capable. The others are probably just the structural. Like I want you to reflect the beams later.
Okay.
Because right now it's all just slabs. It can work in very special cases, but not all the time, especially if you have wide span of spaces. So, but I think you need to reflect those elements. And if you're going to express it or going to cover it with plywood, so that has to be reflected on the detail. Okay? Thank
Okay.
you, Marcus.